In 2010, I happened to come across a free concert being performed in a Melbourne church. When I entered, I heard a song that I really connected to.
I am quiet for now. In the moment there is clarity.
What followed after that concert is now a over 10-year friendship with singer-songwriter Gabriel Lynch. But I often wondered not only about his musical journey that he's been on since 2006, but also some of the challenges facing emerging artists here in Australia. During a harsh COVID lockdown in 2021, I sat down over a Zoom call with Gabriel to ask him some of these questions.
The way I got involved with music when I was really young, predominantly through my older brother, and loving at the time the Metallica, the Nirvana, all that grunge and metal rock of the early 90s, and I just thought it was the greatest thing ever. But in the meantime, I was getting this amazing education with classical music, and that would lay an incredible foundation for me later on in life.
It kinda drags me around. It kinda sucks me in, and I find it so hard to begin. Is this really happening?
I released an album in 2006 called When Balloon Animals Attack. It was the first time I released something under my own name. Like, obviously up until that point, I'd been in bands. My high school band was called Nightlight, and we had demos, and actually we printed some CDs ourselves. We used to sell them at gigs and stuff. So When Balloon Animals Attack was like the first time I put an album out under my own name, and I was just out of high school, and it was the first time I was really choosing musicians to play on my record and doing things my way. It was very collaborative still, but it was a little less collaborative in the sense that I shifted things a little bit. Pass it by Corral. It was the first period in my life where I felt that I was really in transit in a lot of ways. Like just that experience of writing and traveling, writing a song on the floor of a laundromat in Verona, which is where I was when I wrote Where I'm Going Next. I was sitting on the floor of a laundromat because I was at the time surrounded by musicians and I couldn't get any peace and quiet. Anytime I took a guitar out, we'd end up having a jam, and at a certain point I had all these ideas. I was so inspired. I'd been traveling around Italy, for God's sake, so I had to sit down on the floor of a laundromat just to be able to find my thoughts for long enough to be able to write a song.
More time that passes, the less that I'll need you, and soon I will just forget. This is simple. If only that were true.
I think the thing about that song is to me, it sounds as good as it feels to play. The feeling of that pattern underneath my fingers on the guitar just feels as great as I think it sounds. Emotionally, it resonates with me still because it is very much about trying to find your way and totally stuffing it.
In 2013, Gabriel left Australia to pursue bigger musical opportunities over in Southeast Asia.
Thanks for having us, everyone. Again, my name is Gabriel Lynch. This is Owen Downey. I'm going to be leaving to chase a girl and sing jazz. So thanks for coming and supporting us at our last performance, guys. Cheers.
I realized at that time that it was a lot cheaper for me as a singer-songwriter to go and play shows in like 7 or 8 cities in different countries in Southeast Asia than it was for me to tour in Australia.
Standing there with a scarlet scarf wrapped around his throat. The smoke pouring out of a cigarette was the color of his coat. He held a sign and a cup for change that he never seemed to fill. No one saw him standing there, and now no one ever will. The street.
But I think it's also just the fact that when you tour on another continent where you've got not just different cities and towns, but totally different countries, it's a pretty amazing thing to be able to do a string of more meaningful shows in quicker succession. I don't know if you could do it now, but back then there was a real intrigue around singer-songwriters, and as an independent singer-songwriter, I think a lot of people were just curious, like, why is this guy coming to play for us when he's not famous? And I think that was enough to get some people to come to my shows. I kind of looked at it as, well, you know, if I'm not going to get noticed here, I'll go somewhere where I will get noticed.
Sadness comes and then goes like the morning. You don't need that anymore. Onwards we're drifting, just greetings and farewells. There's more goodbyes now, more that I can tell.
This is a song called Jordana.
In 2021, I saw Gabriel perform live again in Melbourne, and he played that same song I'd first heard in the small church. But he also had this to say about me discovering him that night.
It's just nice as well to think, you know, when we play these shows sometimes, particularly those gigs I mentioned, like overseas, playing to people who you don't think are even paying attention. Once in a while, someone is, and even if it is just one person, even if it's one person every 3 years, God, it makes you feel good when you're a musician.
What I've kind of landed on is, you know, when I was 15 years old, living at home and, you know, writing music in every waking hour I had outside of school, I was just doing it because I just loved it. I just did it for me. It didn't even really matter who heard it.
Good night.
And there was very little in the way of like face value critical thinking that was going on, or criticism I should say. It was more just like, wow, you made that. That's amazing. But then at a certain point, I think I was just taking on every bit of feedback, every bit of criticism, and I stopped being able to just show someone a song for the sake of showing them something that I made. Which is why, you know, I'm not in a frantic hurry right now, while I think the rest of the world in COVID has kind of has coped with this time by being creative, by making records, by putting stuff out online, just being in that zone. Well, I have been as well, but I haven't shared it with anyone because I'm just trying to remember what it feels like to just do it for myself. And it's funny the way it's come full circle. You know, that's kind of where I started. I went on this big ass journey, and it's been littered with so much joy and excitement and disappointment and bitterness and overwhelming it's just been so incredible. But when push comes to shove, I will never find a joy in my life like sitting on the edge of my bed with a guitar on my lap, playing some new chords or singing some new melody and just feeling good about it for me.